Yeah. Oh. There we go. Hey, how's everybody doing? Yo, Meowdy, Meowdy Hive. Yeah. Hey, wait, Ashley. Meowdy Scarlet, Meowdy Julia. Meowdy Mexi. How y'all doing? What y'all up to? How is everybody tonight? Oh, jeez. Meowdy Blue. How's things going? My vibes, what's up? An old Vita game called Freedom Wars. Oh no, that's a weird opening to that. Yeah, I don't know, man. An old Vita game. Vita still feels relatively new to me. I played Freedom Wars. I have strong Freedom Wars opinions. I'm like, PM, how did you walk in here and just drop Freedom Wars in front of me to have opinion about? Freedom Wars is great until the very final boss, which fucking is horse shit. There's my fucking opinion. That final boss can eat my ass. It's terrible, terrible design. Awful final boss. I've never had a game like actually like. Why am I not surprised? What? Yeah, first I've ever heard of this game. Freedom Wars? Seriously? Oh, Freedom Wars is great. Do you like Monster Hunter? Lang, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, so okay. Let me give you all some context. First 2 minutes of Freedom Wars is great, and then falls off a cliff in the middle of downtown, never recovers. Then falls off another cliff into miserable. Yeah, like, okay, so here's my thing. Freedom Wars initially starts. I'm gonna have to drop the Freedom Wars opinion on y'all. I need like a warning siren. I need like a fucking warning klaxon or whatever it's called. Yeah, just not surprising the final bosses. We need to take it to another level. The game just yeets itself. Okay, I can really I can convey this all without spoiling a thing about the game, but I'll just say this: Freedom Wars, I think it was pretty good. It was strong start, like Hive said, really strong start. It's like, oh yeah, this is like, you know, this sounds like it has some interesting ideas, interesting potential, and yeah. It's not good. It was just that it was more popular than Soul Sacrifice. It actually was a good game. Yeah, I mean, they both have the same problem, which is that they were both on the Vita, and Vita was like Monster Hunter hungry without actually having a Monster Hunter game. Yeah, we need, yeah, screen flashing red klaxon goes off, flashing red text, morning cat girl opinion. Exactly. So, Freedom Wars, strong start. Feels like it's gonna be really good. It kind of falls into kind of a middle territory. I can understand some people hitting that like middle territory for the bulk of the game and kind of being like, it's like okay. It's okay. I generally think it's like probably like it's still decent. I understand why they're remaking the game because I think the majority of the game is decent. There's some fun ideas in there. It mixes Monster Hunter with some PvP stuff, which is an interesting idea. There's it has grapple line things that you shoot onto the monsters and latch onto them, and then you can like saw off parts. So they're like kind of like modular. Like, also keep in mind the monsters are all kind of like weird bone skeleton things. So it's like there's a weird like mobility thing going on, which is really like interesting with the grapple line being really dynamic. Yeah, it's on. Oh, is it on Steam? Let me see. I thought it was just going to be coming out to consoles or something, but I guess if it's Namco Bandai, Freedom. Oh yeah, look at that. If it was on sale, I might dip into it again, but okay. So Steam first, consoles after. Okay, cool. So here's my 2 cents about Freedom Wars. Namco. So It's you can soft parts, and it's kind of like modular. What is this? Well, the thing is, the monsters are all like skeletals, so they're all just like big moving skeletons with weird like circulatory system thing parts going on. It's not gory, but it's like weird. It's like if skeletons were full of crystals. The skeletons are full of crystals, you have to understand. And you like soft parts, and if you soft parts, it like limits what the monster can do, basically. So there's this like really interesting dynamic for like it's Monster Hunter with an extra interesting layer in a way that honestly sometimes by moments I find it more interesting than like God Eater. It's like definitely like got a lot of the, like that God Eater energy, but like the hook that makes it different than Monster Hunter is kind of better in Freedom Wars. For like the mechanical gameplay hook in Freedom Wars is better than what it is in Monster Hunter. Okay, so getting into the problem, I'm curious about the change, but I have a still sour taste. They made changes to it. Okay, I hope they fucking changed the final boss. Jeeple, how you doing? Oh, I just caught your message, and I was just going live, so I wanted to send you a quick message. And now we're talking about Freedom Wars, because Freedom Wars just got announced, or just got released, and I had to drop some hot opinions about Freedom Wars, because I have some hot opinions about it. So, like, Monster Hunter with a more, like, with an interesting, like, unique gameplay hook where you latch onto the monsters, you can swing around on your tether lines. You can work together with your friends to like tether monsters and like lock them down and stuff like that, but also you soft the parts, make the monsters' mobility like lower, or make them stop doing certain things that they're doing. Like I think they had, if my memory is correct, a lot of monsters have like these eyeballs that would shoot lasers at you, and if you soft the eyeball, like it just like stops doing that. So yeah, pretty cool ideas. The final boss is kind of like if they made a monster, if they made a monster that only one weapon type could really fight. Like, so it would be like if you were playing Monster Hunter and that's not even, it's not, it would be like if you were playing Monster Hunter and got to a boss where like only one weapon type could really effectively fight the monster. And that's really like, yeah, only lance works. In this instance, it's only range works, because the monster like basically flies way above you. Like, of course, you have like the tether line, so like you can like latch yourself up to it, but there's no way to really stay on this thing because it just kind of shakes you loose 90% of the time. So it's like you have to basically have like some range going into this thing. There's a couple weapon types that work pretty good on it. So I basically played the whole game with like three weapon types, and then found out that basically this final boss, you basically need it to play with like these other two weapon types. I hadn't even built any weapons in that tree. I hadn't like did anything with it. And if my memory's correct, the way the weapons work in Freedom Wars, there is like a little bit more RPG mechanics going into it, where it's like you level them up or something. I forget what it is, but I remember being like really annoyed that I got to the final boss. I wanted to close it out. Just one sec. I'm trying to see if I can find. I wanted to see the end of the game because I was really into it, and let me see. Just like looking here. Nah, I can't easily find this, but like I started it in, yeah, like, oh, I remember just being so annoyed. Yeah, that sounds like going from problem with the boss, respec you full basically, and making respecing kind of hard to do. like, it's not impossible, but it was just really annoying, and especially since I had no friends that were also playing it, so I was just like running it solo. So I'm like having to, like, you have your AI companions or whatever in that game, but like, you know, like, they're also useless against it, because I don't know if they just like, they only tested this boss for one weapon type, or what the deal was with it. But anyway, so you had to basically opt for like the lightest weapon and guns, and it was just really annoying that I had to completely rebuild my entire, like, already pulling 36% on Steam. I'll let it play out a couple hundred more reviews and check it out again. Yeah, if there's a review that comes out for it, I would, or if it like goes on sale, I could see maybe dipping into it, because 90% of the game is pretty good. It's pretty okay. Like, it doesn't scratch the itch like Monster Hunter does, but it does scratch a slightly different itch in an interesting way. So I don't know, it's like, okay. There's some interesting ideas going on there. I did eventually get the platinum for it, but I do remember it being like a real grind fest, and I was I was salty about that boss for a hot minute. Still kind of salty about that boss. Hey Genie, how you doing? Also G-Pool, also that idea sounds really cool. I don't know. I would have to like get a whole bunch of like things going, because I don't have access to Iceborne at the moment. Code Mom currently has my PS4 because she was playing Elden Ring. So I could get it, but also I need to get an account, and I'll talk to you later about it. Absolutely. Definitely. So I don't know. I don't know. It might be a lot of hoops for me to jump through. Yeah. Although if you're ever doing ring racers again, like, shoot me a line. Like, I play ring racers a lot. Enjoy it. Yeah, but the later God Eater games really improved on it. The later God Eater games really improved on it. Improved on Freedom Wars. It's certainly better than God Eater 1 at any rate. That's true, but it's also a different generation than God Eater 1. God Eater 1's like a early PSP game, and Freedom Wars is like an early Vita game. So, I mean, the expectation should be that it's, I guess, it's at least somewhat better. Everyone, I mean, that's a weird statement to make. That doesn't mean anything. That shouldn't mean anything. Everyone of my friends who played it at the time hated it more than I did and almost dropped it instantly. What, Freedom Wars or God Eater? God Eater is like very much like Freedom Wars. Yeah. Freedom Wars is like definitely like let me double check this. Freedom Wars. Because it was Sony Bandai Dimps. I was about to say, I wasn't sure if it was a Studio Japan game or not. Because it definitely has that like kind of weird feel of one of their games where it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I had no one to play with it as a result. Yeah, and running through Freedom Wars solo, which is basically what I did, isn't... With friends, I could see it especially popping off, running because there's definitely like a high emphasis compared to even Monster Hunter. Compared to Monster Hunter at the time, there's a high emphasis on teamwork, which is pretty cool. But like, yeah. I played it with Keed a little bit. I played it with Keed, but I think Keed kind of, he dipped out of it at a certain point, and then I was running mostly solo. Now that I think about it, yeah, me and Keith played it a little bit, but like, it's one of those games that feels like if there was a Freedom Wars 2 and they had to baked the concept a little bit more, it could really like pop off. It's just, well, I don't, like, it would be better. It would be better. There's a lot of core things there that are good. Dauntless had a good opportunity thing going, then Greed happened. I actually, okay, PM, you've flipped over my fucking trap card a second time tonight. I have some strong Dauntless. I have some strong Dauntless opinions too. I'm like, where is it? I need a trap card. I need a trap card asset so I can just be like, you've activated my trap card. Instead, the best I got is this. You've activated my trap card. Dauntless is like, how many freaking face down cards do you have? All of them. Okay, so my opinion on Dauntless, this isn't knocking anybody that like Dauntless, but I do feel like Dauntless is Monster Hunter. It's the concept of Monster Hunter written on a napkin and made by like WoW players, or like that's what it feels like. It's like it feels so weird. I tried it. I tried it because I had friends that were like, Dauntless. It's gonna be a Monster Hunter on PC. And we'll all be able to play it together. And Dauntless is like, man, it is like, when I played it, that is a really underbaked game. Like, Freedom Wars is like Freedom Wars is like, I'll give it like a solid like 7.5 out of 10. It's like average. Dauntless, when I played it, was like a 4. It was like, it was rough when it started, but I played it for like a little bit at that point in time. I won't say how long because White is actually, I'll just say it. I played it for like maybe 2 days, and that was like, that's being generous because it was bad. It was like monster does move, rotates, does thing. Like it man, like, it doesn't even feel like the people that made Dauntless have played Monster Hunter by moments. It was super raw when I played it back in the day. Yeah, like, it feels like the concept is there, but like completely made by like people that did not play Monster Hunter but played a different type of game. Hey B-Mick, all my trap cards are getting activated tonight. Y'all have become ensnared in my fucking, I don't know how we got here. Like, I just responded to him. I responded to a message, and then suddenly I'm thrust in Freedom Wars. A major update to the game entitled Dauntless Awakening, released on December 5th, 2024, along with the game's debut, Stormfront. Hey, good. How do you feel? Oh fuck! Don't even bring up Simora. That's another whole kettle of fish. Let's just trigger all the cards. I'm like, all the fucking cards. All of them. I'm just like, empty my fucking wallet. Empty my wallet. Here's my fucking driver's license. Like, all the fucking cards are on the table right now. Okay. So, oh no. Don't make me, please. Please don't make me talk about Metroid Prime 2. Okay. The fast and, like, the blunt edge of it, Dauntless, it didn't feel at all like they had any understanding of what made Monster Hunter good, but they did have an understanding of what they liked about WoW, I think, to me. It felt like a team, and this isn't to, like, throw them under the bus, but it just felt like they were, like, under-equipped for like Monster Hunter style game. I don't know, like the animations, the tells weren't great, the animations weren't great. It definitely feels like the monster was just like, you know, it had like a move pool of like 3 moves, and it just, you know what it felt like? It felt like every monster we fought in Dauntless felt like a Bofango. That's exactly what it felt like. That's the perfect description of it. Every monster felt like a Bofango because there's no like depth to them. They just do a thing, turn around, maybe even do the same thing again. Big pig hours, except the pigs weren't that big. And there was no energy to it, you know? Like Monster Hunter has a level of like flourish to it by moments where it's like they know that they want to make you feel like energized when you're fighting it. And I felt negative energy. Dauntless was radiating negative energy. Yeah. But that's it. I only played it a little bit when it first came out. The game was around for a long time, and I think they probably improved that a lot. So that is not to like judge the game in its later states, because maybe it was a lot better. That said, then they turned around and they were like, what if we just make all this stuff pay to play? And they apparently yoinked everybody's equipment or something. Like, okay, and I'm just like I wanna be like, it probably wasn't the devs' fault for that, and it was like an upper management thing. But also there is a little bit of like, there's a little bit of like, I pulled my like magnifying glass away from my eye and I'm like, I knew it. But that's like ages ago. Yeah, they didn't just yoink people's equipment, they did it once before. Man, see, it's always an upper management thing. But I do think like it's a two-pronged problem with Dauntless, which is that it's like upper management doing bullshit like that, and then on the lower end, it's just like, I don't feel it. They were under-equipped. It was under-equipped, underbaked for what it is, and yeah, my opinion is Dauntless has as much merit as my opinion on Warframe, which is to say I played it super early when it was super raw and never touched it again. I played Warframe. Warframe's okay. When I played Warframe, which is once again, you know, not super. I was not there super early, but I was like there a little bit later. But I didn't play it for a real long time. I played like 100 hours. Oh, there's a lot of squads. Hey, Relent, how you doing? Yeah.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Hey, Norcree. Just like Warframe's continuous grind for 600 hours modeled. Yeah, I had a feeling that I had kind of a little bit of a feeling of that. Like, yeah. Where are we on the squad counter is 984. Don't pay attention to that. So anyways, okay, so Freedom Wars, terrible final boss. Everything else about the game is kind of average. Like, by moments, it's average with interesting ideas, which I think is something that like does elevate it a little bit. Does elevate it a little bit. Like, I have to give it a little bit of credit there, because it was like, it didn't straight up just try to do the Monster Hunter formula. You know what I mean? I did 100 squats yesterday. No, I mean, that's great, but I'm not doing 100 squats today. No. Dauntless, underbaked, super underbaked. Like, it's Monster Hunter if every monster is a Bullfango. And then I guess the game shit itself and died. Sinmora. How do I bake this into a 2-sentence answer? Sinmora, felt like a shoot 'em up made by, once again, a competent team, because that game is visually really nice and there's a lot of cool stuff going in there, but it feels like it's someone on that team. I don't know who it was. They touted Suda, but I've seen Suda's taste in shoot 'em ups, so I don't think it was Suda that made the decision, because I think it was mostly just they attached Suda somehow to it. I don't know, but like, someone there made a last minute, had very little to do with it. Grasshopper just published. Okay, because I remember at one point people were like toting it that Suda worked on it. And like, I've played like shoot 'em ups that Suda's kind of, yeah, Suda didn't develop it exactly. Like, I don't know what, like, at one point it was touted that like Suda was involved somehow or something, and that was like a thing somewhere. Is like Jurassic World of shoot 'em ups, where Suda's involvement is like how Spielberg is involved with. Yeah, exactly. It's like that, right? From what I understood, that's the way it was initially pitched. Which, like, yeah, Digital Reality who developed it. Yeah, it's like a completely different team. There was definitely competence on the team, but like the and like I said, I've seen Suda's taste in shoot 'em ups before. He's actively talked about this, and we've seen him put shoot 'em up, like mini shoot 'em ups, in his games before they are around. They don't fall into the pitfall that Sinmora does, which makes me feel like someone else decided that there needed to be something else going on. The gist of it is Sinmora, you are on a clock. Instead of having a health bar or having like lives or anything like that, you lose time on the clock, and when you're out of time, the game just ends. So it's yeah, which is an interesting idea, but what that does is it means that it makes it really hard just to practice the game, like, and it's a mechanic that has no merit when you're good at the game, and has it like completely limits you when you're not. Like, it's a top stacked merit, it's a bottom stacked merit, where it's a bottom stack mechanic where it makes it feel awful when you're trying to like learn the game and start the game, and then when you learn the game, it becomes less of a factor, but it's still kind of a factor, because the other end of it is that it's counterbalanced with a mechanic where if you pick up any items, it ruins your score. Your score is reduced. If you use any abilities, your score is reduced. Actually, no. The items are fine. It's the score. It's if you use any of the ship mechanics. So you have like a time slow and like some other mechanics going on. If you use any of them, it immediately like kills your multipliers. So they give you a mechanic they don't want you to use, which once again is a big red flag for me. Because like, don't put the fucking mechanic in the game at all if you don't want people to use it. Like, don't give people cool things and don't for them not to use. And then the other end of it, actually, maybe it did punish you for taking power-ups. I forget what it was. It's weird. I do remember if you die though, you lose all your power-ups or whatever, which is common in a lot of early shoot-'em-ups. But like in Sign More, the problem is that don't penalize the player for using mechanics. Exactly. I forget exactly how it goes now. It's been a while. But the gist of it is the game wanted you to use basically the pea shooter, the base weapon. The base weapon that basically is just like pew, 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 pew. And it's awful. And so like they want you to use the slowest, worst weapon in the game to play the game without using any of the mechanics in a game where you're on a clock, the timer's ticking down, you want to kill things fast. So it's just like, it is like having two mechanics like pull you from both ends until you like split apart with anger. It's just, yeah. It's, have you tried Devil Blade? I haven't tried Devil Blade. I'll have to try Devil Blade. Tickles the enemy. Oh no, that's not a good sign. Like, I hate when shoot 'em ups give you a pea shooter. Like, I feel like, I don't think power-ups penalize you, but they flew off the screen immediately. Yeah, there's like something with the power-ups that's, I remember what it is. They're randomized. They're randomized. So you could play the game for like 5 minutes and just never get things to upgrade your gun. So like a lot of runs when you're playing for score, because I was deep into shoot 'em ups at the time, so I was playing every shoot 'em up for score. When you were playing, yeah, every run basically started out with I gotta hope that they like drop weapon power-ups early, because if they don't drop weapon power-ups early, because there's a bunch of different things that pop up, if they don't drop them early, you're stuck with a pea shooter. And I remember like having runs in that game where it's like when I first started trying it, playing it for score, where it's like, oh my god, I've played like 2 stages and it hasn't dropped like an attack power-up. Like, this is bullshit. Yeah, I was about to say. Now this is all with the asterisks that they did re-release the game with Simora EX, and apparently they did adjust a lot of things. If you did the same things, you get the same drops. Yeah, and see, that's good. That's fine. But randomizing your drops, giving the player a pea shooter, punishing the player for using the mechanics that are given to you, and making the game strictly like on a clock that like runs down. Yeah, it only took them 4 years for this. Yeah, like it's, man, was it only 4 years between Simora and Simora EX? It feels like it was ages. You didn't mention the giant fortress boss. I thought the bosses were mostly okay. I don't remember the fortress boss specifically. I remember the fortress boss, but I don't remember a problem with the fortress boss, but I could, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, because what year was Simora? Like I'm drawn from like some deep deep memories here. Sinmora was 2012, so it was like, yeah, it was a bad game. Not good. That boss was really tedious because you spent so much time trying to navigate its maze to get to the weak points. Gotcha. That sounds about right. Here's a Clover made you feel powerful, but it was still challenging. And see, that's the thing. A good shoot 'em up can make you feel like you're like, it makes you feel like you're flying like the really cool, like super like hype ship, right? You feel powerful. Yeah. Franks, how long is a hot minute? Like longer than a cold minute. That's all I can really truly say. Man, now I'm like looking at Sinmora, I'm looking at like this achievement list. I'm just like so fucking irritable about it. So angry about it. Like see, that's the thing. Sinmora, like it actually had an interesting like narrative experience going on. It had like a very full story that clearly had a lot going on, and it had lots of cool design work. The graphics were good. It's a really cool looking game, and like the story stuff was like interesting. So it's like, I remember that all being good, but it's also just like, yeah, but it was not the best experience. Yeah, like the problem is once again, they're trying to convey a story on a clock, right? So, and I get like the narrative correlation between the clock and the story, but like it also means that anytime you use, like, you're constantly like running that clock down, potentially reducing how much story you're even getting, you know? Yeah. Also, EX drastically reduce collision damage. Oh, that would help a lot because there's definitely, there's a lot of like tight navigating in Sinmora. You know what? I'm grabbing Rolling Gunner. Rolling Gunner sounds cool. I haven't played it though. It's just, why is a twin stick behind? It's just, why is twin stick behind a paywall? What? Is that a thing? Oh my god. I was gonna jump into UFO 15. Here we are. Rolling Gunner. Rolling Gunner? I've heard good things about Rolling Gunner. Oh. Would you look at that? Twin stick is behind a fucking paywall. Aw, man, I don't know about that. That's pretty whack. Like, look at this. Look at this. Overpowered that allows shooting with the right stick to specialize for twin stick. Like okay. Okay. So on one hand, they made twin stick the DLC. On one hand, I know for a fact I've fallen victim to this idea because it's been packaged like less, like, it has been packaged in a way that doesn't make it feel like it's twin stick being the thing that's sold to you. It makes it feel like you're being sold a new character, where it's like, oh, their playstyle's twin stick, that's cool, and it's like more palatable. They've made it like a strawberry coated like pill for me to take. This is just like, you just shoot with the twins. You can just shoot with the twin stick, so it has a leader. I don't even know if it's a different leaderboard. It's got to be a different leaderboard. Oh man, I am. What the hell? Yeah, you'll say it's the worst thing to happen to video games ever since. Yeah, no two hands. Man, that's The worst part is, it's like evil. It's evil, but it's also like, damn, I know, y'all got me in the mix. Y'all threw the bait down and I took every one of them. Oh, also Metroid Prime 2. I don't like it. It's bad. That's my opinion. No, Metroid Prime 2 is fine. I just found it unpalatable because Samus just feels like she feels really feeble in that game, and that makes me angry. Like, yeah, it's my least favorite of the Primes. Like, in that game, like the air hurts you, the water hurts you, everything fucking hurts you. Make sure you're standing in the don't take damage zone, otherwise you'll take damage. And it's a lot of that, and it just gets under my skin because it's just like, yeah, I really don't enjoy this so much as Dark World life sucks. Yeah, like, except so it's one of the, yeah, I know. Like, I don't know. I like Metroid Prime 1. I can't believe they made me a character in the Metroid games. No! 5. Additionally, it has the blatant keys. Oh yeah, it's very much like a paint by numbers like structure. It's like go into the area, find the 3 keys to open the door, and then beat the boss, then go to the next area. Do this 3 times to get to the final area where you find 8 keys to open the door to fight the boss. It's yeah, like that's the thing is like in Metroidvanias, like good Metroidvanias disguise the fact that like you're getting just keys to open doors, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, I've got a cool power up, I can now jump up a thing, or I got a cool power up, I can like run through a thing, and it's like that doesn't feel like opening a door when it's just getting keys to open a door, and you're basically here, just 1 second. Man, I know I'm in the mix right now, and y'all got me in the mix, and I'm dropping like opinions left and right, but like when your Metroidvania feels like this, when it feels like you're walking around with this thing, no, you've listening to this rattle around for 6 hours, 8 hours is gonna like drive me nuts. And that's where Metroid Prime 2 is a little bit. Because it's just like, oh, I've entered the new area, I better go collect the 3 keys to go get the key to go get more keys. More keys! More keys! What rolled? I don't even know what rolled. I've been so dialed up. New roll, because I don't remember what rolled. It got away from me. Y'all like, I took the bait today. I can feel it in my arms. I've been getting tense. I'm actually tense right now. Oh. Like, oh my god. I feel it like in my wrists and in my like I'm clenching. Stuck the key in and wound you up. That old cartoon code. What other games that you hate can we get you to talk about? Oh man, I don't know. What games are there? Gosh. This is a joke. No, that's fair. Okay. Maybe I just need to make a list sometime of like games that like wind me up. Yeah. Rant is a fun point of contention between Liz and me. Oh, does Liz like it? She loves it. Ah, gotcha. Okay, I'm with you, Blue. I'm with you, Blue. Yeah. If you two clack horns over Metroid Prime, like, we can hang out. Like, don't worry. I'll just be like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Dead cells. Yeah. Hey, remember when I went off on BioShock Infinite? BioShock Infinite's one I could get into too. I feel less strongly about it because I didn't have I don't think I could hang out with you. It'd be a little, oh shit, Code's cool, shell-shocked. Okay. What? Wait, what? What does that mean? Okay, BioShock Infinite is one to get me worked up. See, okay, here's my thing with BioShock Infinite. God. Okay. Y'all are gonna fucking... I'm like broken a sweat and I'm like losing my breath. Help. Okay. BioShock Infinite, I feel less strong. My opinions about it are strong, but I feel less strongly about it because I didn't own BioShock Infinite. I didn't put money into BioShock Infinite. I went to a friend's place and me and my friend, they were like, BioShock Infinite, I want to watch you play it. I'm like, what? And they were like, yeah, okay, like you're here for a week. I want, you know, play Infinite, we'll hang out. And I'm like, okay, fair, because I played 1 and 2. I actually really like 2. I'm one of those oddballs. I'm one of those rare oddballs that I actually really like BioShock 2. I think BioShock 2 is kind of really good. Like I get it. Like I get it that it's the cash out game, but it's like I like what it does. It's a fun game. Yeah. Like I had a good time with 2, and like that's what I'm kind of here for a little bit. It's just an oddball. Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. Playing as Big Daddy is neat. The narrative doesn't hit me the same way. It doesn't, but it was fun to play. Exactly, right? I promise I will not mention the other game you have a problem with. You might have to at this point, Julia. We're going the full gamut tonight. The gameplay is more fun with the dual wielding concept. Yes, right? Because you get cool there's like a synergy. There's a flow you find with some of the plasmids, and like it makes sense to use them both. Like it's like this is just like this mechanically just makes sense, and it's probably a thing that should have been in the first game. Yeah, it's on kind of BioShock Infinite. Well, this is like I think we're talking about 2. Infinite, I played at a friend's place. I played it and I finished it, and I remember turning to them like, because I know at the time they were kind of they liked it, they were into it, and I'm like, man, I don't know about this game. Like BioShock Infinite does like a couple things, like without getting into like the bigger commentary of the game, because there's definitely like there's a whole fucking that is a whole kettle of fish. But like at a certain point in the game, they just hit you with a narrative beat where it's just like it completely just wipes everything that like happened in the game. Like it's like, well, now why do I care about anything? Like what is like and that's always like that, like for a game that is like toting itself on its like writing merits, that's like such a like weird tripping block, and that's like a really easy tripping block to like look at and say, this is like, yeah, this is like something that you probably, why would you do this? So yes, it's so disgustingly centralist. I know, right? Thank you, Wang, because I didn't want to get into the bigger kettle of fish, but I would love to have had a one sentence way of just like approaching it. So thank you, Wang. Yes, it's so disgustingly centralist that it has virtually no message or conclusion. Yes. Yeah. I think of Infinite just forgets it's leaning entirely on Infinity Worlds. Yeah, like it completely like removes its yeah. And this is like, once again, I have opinions about games. I don't mean to, and the worst part is I know I get wound up about these games, and someone out there watching is like, but I like that game, and I'm like, no, it's okay. You're okay. It's okay to like these games, and what hits bad for me might not hit so bad for you. And I know that like I am like padding out my hate with like all these reasons, which makes it sound even worse. And I just feel really bad because sometimes I do have some strong opinions on games, and I know that like I often look at this and I'm like, I sometimes wonder, okay, this is like one of my like weaknesses as a streamer. Yeah, message is racism bad, and its other message is racism is when someone who's different skin color to anyone else is bad to the other person. And then the actual message is, hey, wouldn't it be messed up if you met an alternate universe version of yourself, huh? Weird, huh? That's a pretty good way to put it too. You both had a good abridged way of approaching it. Honestly, Ebert was right about a lot of video games. Yeah, I disagree with a lot of what he said, but he justified his points well. Yeah. It what was I gonna say? Anyways, this is one of my weaknesses as a streamer. I sometimes, when I am vibing in other communities, I will and its attempt to say racist bad is really ham-fisted. It absolutely is. Yeah. There is like, it is really like, it hits you right over the head with it, but then doesn't like really do anything with it. And then like, yeah, like Hive and Wang said, that it's just like, has such a like centralist like bullshit approach that it's, I mean, I finished it and I just felt like that, and then like the more I had to like dwell on it and talk about it, it got more like angry about the game. But like I wasn't like rawly, had I bought the game, had I paid out full price for the game when I played it, I would have been angry. I would have been fucking livid, but I don't have like the same heat behind it because I just played it for like a day, and we had pizza and we ate pizza and hung out. And like the thing is, you know what it is because my experience of hanging out with my friend was so good while playing it, that like that is what I remember. That's like those good feelings wash out the distaste of Infinite. So they blessed me with a good experience for playing a game I didn't like much. Yeah. Yeah. Its main point for why video games can never be art was flawed from its very foundations because the reader response theory. So what was I saying? Papers Please says hi. Papers Please forgets trans people exists. Which is a little bit. You're saying you have I should have a truck. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for the reminder. Julia, what is the other game that I'm wound up about? Tell me, since we're going the full gamut tonight. Oh, I remember what I was saying. This is my guilty like. So like as a streamer, there's certain things that like get to streamers. There's certain things that get to streamers, and there's certain like general like no-nos that streamers tend to do because they because you tend to be tempted to do that. Things like looking at your like numbers and being like, oh no, why are my numbers down this month? You know, things like that. Oh, you knew it, Julia. Okay, so like things like looking at numbers, not good for your streamer health sometimes. Not good for your streamer health sometimes. And my thing that bothers me is I will sometimes there's communities I hang out in. There's like, I mean, like I'm in kind of that retro indie achievement hunter circle that kind of overlaps with some speedrunners and some a multitude of a huge variety of people, right? And so like I see, like I'll hang out in other chats and I'll see people that like, I'll see people on the regular in other chats that I'm like, they've swung by here and I know them from, you know, being over here, but then like, I'm like, oh man, they haven't been around in forever. I haven't seen them in ages. And it makes me sometimes wonder where it's like, I'm like, oh man, maybe I've dropped a hot opinion and it's like made them dislike me. You know what I mean? That's the one that gets to me. I'm like, maybe I've wronged them somehow, you know? Like I'll see like a lot of overlapping communities and then I see like people that like, I'm like, oh, I know them from here and here and here, and they've swung by, but like I don't see them and it's like, oh, So I sometimes feel bad about dropping like my hot takes, my big opinions on stream because I'm like, I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable, feel like I'm dragging like their favorite game or something like that, right? Hey Jacob, I have ADHD and I can't stick around sometimes. Oh no, that's fine. This isn't about like people sticking around. I understand people have to go and they have other streamers they want to see. and this isn't like to make anybody feel like, oh geez, I'm not going to code streams enough. It's not really about that. It's more so like I'll see people like that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember them being in the stream for like, you know, here and there, off and on, and we vibed and it was cool. And then I'm like, oh, but I haven't seen them like swing by. Like I've seen them and these other people's streams, but I haven't seen them swing by mine. And I'm like, oh, which that is my worst streamer habit. That is the one that gets me. Like that's the one where I actually feel like I'm like, oh, bad. I feel kind of bad. I can look at numbers all day, doesn't bother me. Numbers go up, numbers go down. I've learned through, I think it's honestly, I tie it to fighting games because I'm like, I've learned through the idea that like you improve through loss. Like sometimes you just take losses and sometimes you don't. Like you improve over time. You look at the big picture with numbers. If you look at the, why are my numbers down from this month compared to last month? That stuff that's like, it's not important ultimately, but it's a thing that does get to a lot of streamers. There's a few of them. Yeah, it's bad brain slug. Yeah, and that's what it is. But I enjoyed the messenger. I get Code's criticism, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I like what I did. Yeah, and that's legit. And that's the thing. Like Freedom Wars, Dauntless, whatever other games we talked about tonight. Like if you enjoyed those, that's cool. That's fine. Like, and I mean, I think that a lot of these have like a level of merit behind them. Like they, you know, like I said, there's good points about Freedom Wars. There's good points about BioShock 2. and I'm sure there's other games that we talked about that we talked about them. So anyways, no, Somewhere has a good narrative, and I didn't play Dauntless enough to know if there was anything good about Dauntless. It's Monster Hunter where every monster was just Bofango. Which when I pitch it like that sounds like a fun game. Actually, it doesn't. It sounds like an awful game, but it sounds like a game I have this certain type of like brain that would be like, that's hilarious. I'm gonna play that. Give me a Monster Hunter game where, you know what, take all the models from Monster Hunter stories, make them all kind of fight like a Bofango, and I would play that probably. I also enjoyed BioShock Infinite. The thing is from like a gameplay perspective, I think Infinite is like, it's pretty good. Like I don't think it was like that rough. And I do think, what was his name? Songbird, I think? I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's big. It's like a Big Daddy, but even bigger. Oh, and I kind of like that. But everything else was kind of, I don't know, when they hit the narrative beat where it's like nothing mattered. And it was very clear, like, I was like, okay, so this is what the game's about. And then it just kind of like walks away from that point. And I was just like, why then? Like, you know, gameplay standpoint. Well, the handyman are one of the worst enemies I've ever fought in a video game. I gotta remember what a handyman. The thing is I like BioShock. Oh, yeah, I kind of remember these. I liked, the thing is that I still like BioShock 2's gameplay better. If this is about Infinite, the gameplay is handily the worst of the trilogy. Okay. Like, I guess like the thing is I don't remember the gameplay being like that bad, but I don't remember anything really distinct about the gameplay, you know what I mean? Only really takes damage from the heart shots, and they're way too fast to actually land hits on them. Gotcha. Yeah, it's like, how to put it? I'm trying to think. Because I think I finished Infinite, and I remember generally feeling, on a gameplay level, I still like BioShock 2 more, because I think just like the flow of it was better. But, yeah. But I don't remember anything like really outstanding about Infinite, so it is what it is, I guess. To be fair though, it was a few years ago now. And it's not like I replayed it either. Infinite was hurriedly taped together set of mechanics that came from other games, including Bioshock. None of them were done as well as their host games. Yeah, that like makes sense. I remember having a good time with Bioshock and Bioshock 2. Like, and I didn't end those ones on like kind of a weird note, you know. I didn't end those ones on a weird note, which also kind of helps. Bioshock, which is really funny because amazingly, one of my close friends was like, "Here's Bioshock, you got to play this game." I'm like, "It's a first-person shooter. I can't guarantee much." And he's like, "Just try it. Like, if you don't like it, if it doesn't sit, if you can't like stomach it, like that's fine. But I'd love you to try it." And lent it to me, and I played it. And I was like, "You know what? That was really good. I'm glad you hooked me up with that." And you know what? It's amazing, but like this particular friend that like lent though has lent me a few games here and there over the years. Every single time he's lent me a game, it's been a game that's popped off for me, and it's always been like outside of my like comfort zone, but they were able to like parse what was gonna make the game pop. So had trouble development, and the best thing I can say about the game, this is genuine, is that it's a wonderful achievement that came out that it came out and was polished as it was, all things considered. Gotcha. My problem with Messenger can be summed up pretty quick. The game wants to be two different things, but those two different things don't necessarily click together smoothly. That's the Messenger's. Oh, and the other problem is the game is like really fucking. It's wordy and it's wordy and it's trying to feel itself, and it's a game that's like, oh, I'm so clever, and I'm like, I don't think you're as clever as you think you are. Like that's my beat on it. There is a couple good jokes in it though that do actually like land for me, where I was like, you know what, that was actually really funny. And one of them I actually guessed. I knew it like right away. Yeah, message dialogue sequence made me understand why people hate Godzilla 2014. Sea of Stars had the same problem. Man, that's a shame, because well, here the thing where is it? Just one sec. Man, there's a lot of clips in the Messenger. I'm actually surprised. I think is it this one here? It's this clip right here. What was I gonna say? The Messenger's dialogue, like, it's when I saw Sea of Stars for the first time, and then I saw that it was being made by the same team that did the Messenger, I was almost angry. I was almost angry because I was like, the Messenger is like, it's like, it's like sitting here and I don't want to get angry about it, and I don't want to say what I want to say. It's like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I'm trying my best not to say it. I'm gonna try and think of a nicer way to say this. It's like, I was not so shit hot on the Messenger for obvious reasons. And then seeing Sea of Stars, which is like basically them saying, we're gonna try and make a new Chrono Trigger. It's like watching like it's watching like it's watching a team do comparison to the Chrono Trigger greatly overblown. Oh yeah, I know, but I mean they had like music from they had some like overlap, didn't they? They got some big names, didn't they? That happened every time someone says my game will be like Chrono Trigger. I mean, I think in this one instance, yeah, they got Masuda to do 5 tracks. We thought Messenger was like nobody thought Messenger was like Chrono Trigger. It's more so that their next game after the Messenger, they pitched it as kind of like Sea Stars is the Jurassic World of Chrono Trigger. Oh no, that's probably a good way to put it. Like I was a Hey Avocat. Speaking of games trying to and failing at chasing Chrono Trigger, anyone remember I Am Setsuna? I remember it. I don't know much about it though. I knew that it was a game that they were like Chrono Trigger, and I was like, I don't know if I'm seeing it exactly here. Like, and I know like Sea of Stars is like, I don't know if the content of the game, like the story and stuff like that, is really like pitching that hard towards Chrono Trigger, but it's more just like the direction of it. They want it to have like that energy that Chrono Trigger had, which is a good energy to try and capture. Like that is a like that to me, like that's a high mark to aim for, and that's cool. That's okay for devs to aim for something that's really high. Content is trying really hard to be Chrono Trigger. Okay, so it's trying really hard. I just feel like after playing the Messenger, I'm like, there could not be like a team so innately under-equipped to approach trying to tackle something as big as Chrono Trigger. Because, and this is, once again, I know this is like a really bad drag. This is me starting the car and they're tied to the fender, and I admit this is really mean to say. And this is like, I would honestly apologize to the devs saying this. Like, I would apologize to them, and I am sorry in advance saying it, but I just don't think the writing was that good in the Messenger to try and tackle something as like I don't think the writing was as good, or the world building was as good to tackle something as like big as Chrono Trigger. Like, it's ambitious, I will give them that, but like this is like I don't know if they need it. I don't know if you're saying like a few more games under their belt would help, or a few more like doing more writing would help, but it's just like, and like I don't blame them. You only have so much time in this world, so like reach for the stars, right? Like, make your dreams happen. Like, and if that's what they want, good on them. But I just, man, like I don't think I could picture like a game more farther removed from being able to like reach that. That is like, the writing in the Messenger makes me angry, and there's like nothing being said in that game. Like, you're trying to like tackle Chrono Trigger, which is a game that's entirely about saying stuff and doing things and writing good characters off of a springboard of nothing. The game, yeah, well that's exactly it, Blue. That's exactly it, Blue. The game isn't earnest. It's not sincere in what it's doing, and Chrono Trigger is nothing but sincere. Like, that is absolutely you've cut to the core, the crux of it all. That's the thing that like, that is the twist. That's where like the breaking point is, and why I feel so bad saying it, because like, it is absolutely that, because like there's nothing in the Messenger that feels sincere. It's all a big joke. Yeah. Like, it's all a big joke, and have a good laugh, and they barely even got the laugh out of me. Holy crap, Sea of Stars really is the Jurassic World of Chrono Trigger. Yes! Like, you were apt when you said that, Hive. Like, that is an accurate comparison. They're like... Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. I'm sorry to the devs. I'm sorry, Julia. I am sorry, everybody. But that cuts right to the point. Did not need to be deep. It needed to tell its story and live what it was. Yes. Yeah. Like, and I remember when I first saw the trailer for Sea of Stars, like when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this game looks really good. And then I saw who was making it, and I was like, no. The most exasperated, no, like of my life. And it's just like, and I want to believe. I remember talking about the game even after the trailers and before it came out. I was like, I want to believe that the team doing this can like make it work and is going to come around, and they know what they need to capture and do. I want to believe it. Like, I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's not like, I haven't heard strong opinions about Sea of Stars. Like, it just seems like it kind of came and went. Like, it doesn't sound like it really, like, it sounds like it hit more like mid than bad, but like, I don't know, like, I think that's like the fundamental spark of it all, is it's not like you're writing for Chrono Trigger has like there's a sincere kernel at the center of, well, it's nothing but sincere. It owns itself, you know what I mean? Like, it's never like outside of itself, you know, laughing at itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's and don't get me wrong, like, I play games that are self-aware and laugh at themselves, and sometimes that's okay. And you can, in fact, make games that are sincere that laugh at themselves. Like, but I just couldn't picture the creators of The Messenger doing that. Also, I feel really, really like, I started the DLC for The Messenger, and I felt really not good about that DLC. I don't know, like maybe it was just that I was coming into it already not feeling the game that much, and fingers crossed that the DLC would like improve that, and then it just immediately like stepped in it, and I was just like, I don't know. I'm so tired. I don't even want to. Thank you. There was a lovely rant on co-host about how it was the biggest weakness was that it was disingenuous. Oh, about Sea of the Stars? I'd love to read that. I guess I dodged the bullet because JRPGs aren't as much of my thing. Ah, gotcha. Also, Nat, Kalichka, how you doing? I played The Messenger, I only remember the music. I don't know what that says about a game. God. And you know what? Okay, so once again, I don't like just hating on a game. The Messenger tried doing something cool. I will give credit where credit's due. It tried doing something cool. There's very few games that have tried doing something like that. It just happened to be that I think that like they tried doing something cool and then realized, I don't even know if they realized, but it was just like, it was so late after they've done, like, did the cool thing that I don't think they maybe clued into, like, these things just are inherently not compatible. Like, you can't have it both ways with these two structures of games. Or at least if you can, you're not gonna have it both ways like this. Do you know why Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the best Jurassic World movie? Because it's directed by a different director who loves movies and loves horror movies and loves that he can make a gothic horror movie with dinosaurs. You know what? That's actually, you know what? That's pretty good. Yeah, because like I watched Fallen Kingdom, and yeah, maybe it's obviously a far cry from Jurassic Park, but like I remember being like, it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs, and I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that. And no one who doesn't love movies would direct an entire sequence that starts out like a werewolf movie and then transitions into doing Nosferatu. I always have to sound it out. Have fun listening to everyone chat about games I only sort of know about. Sorry, Nat. Also, I'm sorry, everyone. It's an hour into the stream. I wanted to start early today, and I fell asleep, and I slept through my alarm, and I got up so fast I thought I was gonna throw up. Like when I actually did like wake up and realize I slept through my alarm, I jumped up and I was like, oh god. So you know what we need to do is we need to play some we need a palate cleanser. Dang, we ain't playing video games tonight. No, it's another night where we're not playing video games. No, we're playing video games. We're gonna play video games. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. We got video games in here, and we're gonna play maybe three new ones. I don't know. I wasn't expecting an hour-long rant about a bunch of games I don't like. That's it. I liked most of Freedom Wars, where this all. Thank you. I'm here all week. I mostly liked Freedom Wars, and then did we literally move did we move in a lateral direction down? Did every game that come up like every single one that came up like slightly worse? It was Freedom Wars into Dauntless. No, Dauntless is like the bottom of this for me, I think. Dauntless is like Nah, we didn't move straight down like I could. I can't believe you wound down just in time. I started wanting myself up because of Jurassic World. Oh no. I threw the Samura bomb in there. Wang pulled the pin on the grenade and threw it in the room. Hate that movie so much. Hey, that's fair. And you know what? Once again, I put the asterisks on the end of it. These are just my opinions on it. I followed up with the Metroid Prime 2 bomb. That's true. And then I had to Julia versus Julia over here standing with the grenade. I know, holding a grenade, like, I know one more that you're forgetting. No! Y'all made it? No! The setup! Y'all, no. Y'all distracted me with things. Y'all distracted me and then lulled me into a false sense of security and hit 1,000 squats. Huh, man. I wanna play video games. Yeah, how you doing? How's this going? Yeah, Julie's standing with the grenade in the corner, tears in eyes. I have one more thing, but I can't bring myself to strike out further. I know, that's what I was gonna say. Tears in her eyes, and I'm like, and I see Julia holding the grenade across the room, and I'm like, give me that! I ripped it from her hands. Got a link for you whenever you friend me on what? I haven't friended you. Shoot me an invite. Is it just an open invite? Oh shit. Oh, there you are, right here. Done deal. Oh, fuck. There we go. Oh. I broke into a sweat. At one point, I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment there, I think around the time we were talking about Metroid Prime 2. I didn't even get that into Metroid Prime 2. But like around then where I could feel, I don't know if it's what they call hypertension or what, but I could feel it in my wrists and in my hands and in my like arms. And I was getting out of breath, so there was I was like, my health. Just throw it. Eat this. Yeah. I will have to read that later. have to read that later. I think I saw this, actually. I had a... Okay, I don't have it bookmarked, but I think I saw this at one point. Okay, good. I'll have to look into that later and read it up. Anyways. But once again, asterisks. Sorry, I know I've closed this conversation out 3 times, but you have to understand that, like, in a conversation like this, I have to, like, stand there and slam the door, like, 3 or 4 times before it actually stays closed. Okay, Freedom Wars. Mostly an okay game. Awful final boss. Fuck that final boss. Metroid Prime 2. Mostly not my thing. A little bit too, paint by numbers. And I don't like feeling like everything is innately hurting me. Like, I don't want to breathe air that hurts me. I don't want to stand in shadows that hurt me. I don't want to stand in puddles that hurt me. Like, and having all 3 of these things all at the same time practically is like, boy, that just fucking sucks. But like, as far as Metroid Prime goes, I mean, there's some cool design work in the game, and, you know, there's stuff there, I'm sure, that's good. It's me in New Zealand. You go to New Zealand is exactly like Metroid Prime 2. I think they stole the idea for Metroid Prime 2 from you. Dauntless, I want to believe the team wanted to make a good game, even though I do feel like it was a little bit of WoW players that thought they could make a better Monster Hunter than Monster Hunter. Like, that's the energy it, like, radiates to me, but, like, I don't think that's really what it was. I think they wanted to make a Monster Hunter. They tried the best. They maybe didn't succeed, and then I guess the top end fucked them. So that's a shame. Yeah. Gotta look out for those Kiwi Phazon mines. Oh. I'm gonna tell New Zealand off for being like Metroid Prime 2. And how you doing? Apparently, I mean, this is like uniquely to Hive though. This isn't like that New Zealand is like Metroid Prime 2. It's that Hive being in New Zealand is like Metroid Prime 2. So it's not quite the same. New Zealand gave me migraine every time I left my house. The one good thing to say about Prime 2 is that eventually you get strong enough that instead of the darkness being terrified, you kind of own it. Yes, that is true. You know what? There is a, you know what it is because in Metroid Prime 2, you swing from being like feeling really weak and feeble to really strong. But the swing is like really late in the game, from what I remember. Like, by the time you feel like you're actually like really strong in that game, it's over. It's already over, so it's like, you know, that's a good way to put it though. Like, and I think maybe that was ultimately their intention, but like the swing was too late in the game, so it just doesn't hit right for me. Okay, so tonight we're gonna play video games on the stream. What the hell? We're gonna crack open some new discs. They've been having problems with feeling strong in Metroid games. I feel Dread never has that swing. You always feel weak in Dread? See, that's a thing though, in Dread is, Dread is a game, no, there's no X in Prime games. There's no X in Prime games. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what's being conveyed. What, this is a gaming stream? I know. Wait, is Metroid Prime 2 a game about coming to terms with X, that's with you, thus cracking your egg, so to speak? No. It's different. It's yeah, no, not X specifically, as X is in algebraic X. Yeah, you always feel weak in Dread. And see, that's the thing, I didn't hate Dread. Because, like, the way it makes you feel weak is interesting. In Prime 2, you feel weak because you just can't breathe the air, or float around in the water, or be anywhere that's not under a don't hurt lamppost. I just get a cool power. Cool. We're gonna make all the enemies stronger. Yeah. Like, but like, I think the thing is, I didn't hate Dread, but I really just like feeling punished for getting a power up that ended up doing nothing for me. That's fair. That is fair. I think like the Emmys in Dread, I think that they're interesting, I guess is the gist of it. And I know I'm in a weird, probably minority where I had a weirdly innate skill to just like slap their hands away. Which is like, I don't think that was everyone else's experience in Dread. Just one sec. Just one sec. I don't know. This clip's close now. I tried Samus Returns and hate it that it made everything a counter thing. It was too funneled into the same mechanic. And watching Arya play Dread, and it got to the point where Emmys were just a time waste thing rather than an actual threat. Oh, I mean, that's gonna innately be true about any game like that. I think like Resident Evil goes through the same thing. Like Mr. X and Nemesis are not like ultimately like that much of a threat once you're like really deep into a game. But that's also like Arya is like a world-class like player of Metroid Dread. Like for her, she's just gonna innately like the Emmys are never gonna be a problem. That's always like kind of like the thing with these kind of games is like the experience will always be like, yeah, horror threats stop remaining threats over time. There's no way to make that work. Exactly. This is like the second Emmy encounter on where it's yeah, and that's just innately gonna be a thing. All right. So, okay, we're gonna open up a few new games tonight. I'm aiming for opening 3 games up. I'm gonna skip Divers for now because I just don't think right now is the time to start Divers because we tried it during the charity marathon in October, and I felt like, man, I keep forgetting that we did a charity marathon in October. It's an RPG, so it's like a bigger endeavor, so I know that much about it. Then why the Alien Isolation decided to be, and that's why the Alien Isolation decided to be 20 hours long. Oh gosh. Onion Delivery. Onion Delivery, really cool, but this is definitely like a play it a little bit game, not a focus game. Not a game I'm gonna focus hard on. It's kind of like Barbuda in that sense, where it's like, I'll come back to it, or like Magic Garden, where it's like, I'll come back to them, but like, not a game I'm gonna like go really hard on, or Lock Koala. You know what? Like, you can kind of tell which games I've like bounced off of a little bit. Kinda. I don't hate Magic Garden, and Warp Tank is really good, and Devilation was fun from when I played, but yeah. But Barbuda, I don't know if I'm vibing with, and Block Koala, Block Koala is okay. Alright, Caramel. Let's do it. Oh shit, I didn't read the box. I always fucking do that. I just jump into it.